Hey you guys, I am so excited to be here to give you this video today. I have been asked to participate in a really big, incredible collaboration that takes place for the whole month of January. And the collaboration is called Canuary, which is being hosted by Sutton Days. So if you are interested in going back to look at her channel, it's called Sutton Days. And what this whole collaboration is about is a bunch of YouTubers got together for the whole month of January to give you their most favorite canning recipes and tips and tricks on getting it done. Now, the nice thing about this is that every day of the month there's a new YouTuber. Today is actually my day. However, go back and watch the 8 before me, and then watch the rest of the month, because if you do and you leave a comment for every single channel on each of those days, you have an opportunity to win this incredible pressure canner. Now, it's important that you watch each YouTube. And on top of that, you need to make sure you comment, meaningful comment, not just an X, Y, or I was here. So something about the video itself, okay? So that's your opportunity to win a pressure canner from Sutton Days for this Canuary event. Now, what am I contributing to Canuary? I am actually contributing maple bacon bourbon jam. Now, there's a little bit of controversy in regards to canning bacon, so I'm going to go over that with you real quick. But I'm going to tell you, whether you can this recipe or refrigerate it, it is one that you're going to want to try. It is a great pantry to table staple. It uses onions and garlics from the pantry in your cold storage, because we are in January. Then on top of that, any bacon end bits that you save from curing your own bacon can be used. If you don't have your own pigs and you haven't cured your own bacon, then you can actually go to the butcher and get bacon end bits from the butcher as well too. So there are ways to get this recipe done. But before I give you the recipe, I'm going to give you a couple other tips and tricks about the whole thing. Okay, in the descriptions, I'm going to give you a couple of links. The first one is the Sutton Days YouTube channel, so you can actually go and see her pressure canner that she's given away. The second link that you're going to see is all the participants for Canuary. So go back, watch the videos, comment on them, and pick up some new recipes. I think you're going to really like a few of them. Then on top of that, I'm going to give you a link to my website that actually holds the recipe for the bourbon maple bacon jam. That's a long title. But anyways, you get the point. It's bourbon maple bacon jam. So anyways, the point of it is that I'm going to give you the link. This recipe, again, can be refrigerated or can be made shelf stable. Okay. Now, with that said, there's a couple of things about canning bacon that you are going to need to know. The first thing you're going to need to know is this is not a tested recipe from the National Center of Home Food Preservation. In fact, it's not even an unsafe canning recipe because they've never tested this recipe. So instead of calling it unsafe, it's a non-tested recipe. So it's a recipe that basically I found that I've modified to fit what my family is going to enjoy, and I chose to can it. This isn't a canning project that calls for a hot water bath canner or a steam canner. It does need to be pressure canned because it is meat, it's bacon. So now, why does the National Center for Home Food Preservation state you should never can bacon, especially since they didn't test the recipe? Well, two folds. The first fold is that it's cured. We know for a fact that cured meat is actually really dense. All the liquid's pretty much been taken out of it, so it's a dense product. They are concerned that when you put it into a jar and into the pressure canner, it does not allow the heat to properly penetrate completely through the jar. What it does is it'll stop at that point in time. So they're saying that if that happens, then the bacteria cannot be fully eliminated from the jar, and a case of botulism could happen at that moment in time. So the other thing that they want to state is that bacon that's cut in strips, by the time you pressure can it for 75 minutes and the correct PSI based on your location, mine is 11, for example, the bacon tends to completely shrink down, causing a very dense product as well too. Again, potentially preventing the heat from completely going through the jars as is, to eliminate any potential bacteria in there. So what do? The decision is yours. I don't use bacon strips. I use bacon end cuts. So those are the end cuts of the bacon. They're usually pretty thick and dense, and I cut them down to the appropriate 1-inch cubes as you would for meat when you're canning meat. And then from there, I add all the ingredients on that. I pack my jars and I pressure can them according to what meat would be canned at. For me, it's 75 minutes for pints, and I did them in half pints, so they are basically the same processing time, 75 minutes, at 11 pounds of pressure for my altitude. You'll have to know what your altitude is, but your altitude should be found in the chart on my website as well too for the recipe. And again, that's going to be in the descriptions. If you haven't grabbed a copy of my book yet, The Farm Girl's Guide to Preserving the Harvest, go ahead and do so. That book is the A to Z encyclopedia of preserving foods. Every single method for preserving foods as a sustainable homesteader would can be learned in my book. And then on top of that, I'm going to give you a link to my Pantry to Table cookbook. How to take items that you have actually squirreled away for the winter months and learn how to cook them in a fashion that is just simple, easy, and comfort food for the winter months. So all those links are going to be in the description for you. Enjoy the video, and don't forget, go back and grab the recipe from my website. Have a good day, you guys.